Hey, what's up? Welcome to our Friday 5+3 blitz stream here. Casual chess. What's up, everybody? We're going to be playing our Friday blitz stream. It's 5+3 casual. Hopefully some of our European friends can join us since it's a little bit more accessible for them, not so late. We're going to be streaming for 2 hours today. A little shorter than a 2.5 hour stream. I've got an important engagement after the stream. So just 2 hours. Let's get it underway. 5+3, I'm going to accept all challenges by anybody as long as they have a casual challenge out and they have approximately 100 games played. So we'll get started here with Niels, one of our subscribers, but I'm not preferring the subscribers on the stream like I normally would. And Niels, you're welcome for... And you're welcome for the... no, sorry, Bob. I meant an hour and a half. That's... I don't know what I was thinking. I said an hour and a half. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like with Bob, you have to deal with him like it's your children, basically. I really... Yeah, I learned this parenting skill. When the children get greedy. Merle Dixon, thank you for the donation today. 100 bits. Merle is the leader and consistently supported the stream. Thank you so much. So let's get underway here. Mainline King's Indian. Let's do this for fun. I never played the classical King's Indian. I'm terrified. But we'll test him here. I mean, I know that I haven't played this in 8 million years. We'll try the A5. I believe that knight H5 is probably a better move. I played this position a lot as black. Excuse me, as white. I'm still waking up here. So I think I lost with white against Enrico Sevillano in a game in the New York Open once. What did he play? How does it go now? Knight E8, knight D7, or B6? Yeah, Niels knows a lot of theory for a player under 2000. He seems like he's really booked up. Alright. I can't play C5, right? So C5 takes, knight takes... Bishop takes D6, just drops a pawn. Trying to remember how this goes now. What am I supposed to do? Knight D7, B6. I guess B6, but I'm not in love with this. Yeah, he knows everything. Alright, we'll just let him do his thing on the queen side. This is pretty good for white, I guess. Knight H5 is probably a mistake. And this dude has played no time. He's got a perfect position. He's 1600 bullet. 1800 blitz, and he's played the theory perfectly here. A4, knight H5 is probably a mistake. Knight E8. I never played this line. I immediately get like the most theoretical player in the world against me here. Amazing. So he knows all. This is a serious problem for black already because if bishop takes C7 and stuff. I'm in bad shape here. Could sack the exchange. Sacking the exchange is not really sound. Rook A6 is not great. So another thing is how fast he's played. I guess I should have played 98. I guess I just have to connect my rooks. I mean, there really is no other plan here. Alright. Bishop D7 for lack of a better move. And white is just better. Okay, it's no secret. This is known as the main line. I've been playing this line with white since 1986, probably, maybe 1988. But it's rare that you would ever catch me playing black in this line. So I just played A5. It's not really the best move. Probably knight H5 is the better line instead of A5. Thought I'd throw it out there. Bishop G4 is bad because we're gonna end up like encouraging him to trade his bad bishop off. So that's definitely a mistake, Bob. Strategic mistake. You can play bishop g4, but you just... first of all, he has knight b5. That's a bad issue. And secondly, yeah, the white square bishop exchange you don't want to do. I don't know about his move knight e1. It doesn't look like a bad move. I'm not sure if it's the best or not. But thematically, both sides are fighting for these kind of standard kingside and queenside breaks. with the f5 and the f4. Okay, let's see. I guess we go with f5. There's the break we're talking about. Do it, you know. Man, he's awfully professional. Okay, here. Can we find any weaknesses in Nils's game, really? That's what I'm wondering. Queen b8, kind of a weird move. Yeah, this has got to be wrong. Get out of the pin. I mean, maybe it's not wrong. I mean, I can play c5 next move. It gets me out of the pin with the bishop constantly. Rook b1 is not possible. But it's very awkward for black. He played c5 anyways. Strategic pawn sacrifice. I guess I take on d3 and then take on c5. Wow. And white's play is amazing. Alright, so back to the drawing board here. Queen a7 is possible as well. Then he could just play like bishop b4. I can't keep up with him, honestly. Knight takes d3 and then queen a7. Does that make any sense? Just can't keep up with him. Trying to pin him on the diagonal. We can grab 2 rooks for the queen. King h1, queen takes c5, and we're up a pawn. What's up, Soltigo? This is a very difficult game to play for my first game of the stream. Basically, Nil's opening play seems like master level. He said he's only been playing chess for like a year or something. That's pretty insane. So, alright, we get the 2 rooks for the queen. I guess we have to take it. I mean, I guess you could play queen b8, then queen c4. So, kind of an unclear situation here. A lot of pressure on that pawn, obviously. So I might have pawn takes pawn on e4 at some point. I'm just under pressure on the clock as well here. So this is pretty nasty. I'd have to protect my d6 pawn so awkwardly with knight c8. And we're in trouble on time. Now, I don't know. Maybe I should take with a knight here. Kind of a tough call. But the knight is a good blockader on d6. He's fast and good. Now, treating that dark square bishop seems like it might be a little bit of a mistake strategically. He's playing knight b5 very, very quickly, threatening my d6 pawn. So what's actually going on here? I don't know. I can take on b5, then take on e4. Quite sure what's happening. He's super fast, dude. His bullet is only 1600. Man, you got like a 1 minute time edge against me. Troops for the queen really same as a pawn up. It's not the same, it's different. But theoretically it's the same amount of material. Very different. You know, a lot of times like 2 rooks for the queen isn't as good as it should be. Because it's hard to coordinate the rooks. I mean, I think that I'm probably okay here. I'm not sure I'm winning. Because I do have my own weaknesses here. But I'm impressed by his speed of play. I don't think he played the best. He made a lot of second best moves trying to play super fast. And he gave away his advantage. But at the end of the day, you know, he kept a time edge and he's still okay, you know, it seems like. If he plays in the white squares, he might have enough compensation to hold the balance here. But it wasn't a very good game by me, and it was a good game by him till a point when he started making concessions. I'm getting to think I must be lagging or something. Soltigo, welcome to the stream. Bob, Mr. Coffee, JCS, thanks everybody for joining me. Now, we do have a problem here, obviously. D6 pawn is hanging. So how quickly can we get counterplay? Let's take this. Try to open up the diagonal for our bishop, obviously. Could be pretty huge. E4. No, E4 allows the check. Okay. Check and take that pawn. Although, okay, maybe that's not so bad. He can choose which pawn he wants here. Gazim, welcome to the stream. If he takes the D6 pawn, I get counterplay. If he takes the E4 pawn, I can get a really solid blockade set up with bishop E5. So it's up to him. Really, really tough game for the first game of the stream. Man, he's fast and good. Only 1800. Correspondence rating, surprisingly low. Must have gotten disconnected in a lot of. He must have abandoned some correspondence games or something to be 1400. 1500 in rapid. So he takes this pawn. Now, I'm so close to something here, but I've got no rook a3. He's got a check on e4. So I don't see how I can like pin him and win the pawn or trap his bishop or anything. I have to find some kind of way. I mean, the truth is that I'm probably not winning this position. This is just not enough to win. The honest truth, if you want to hear it. Probably just not winning for black. I've got a check. He offers me a draw. Yeah, not a good moment to offer a draw. Tricky draw for, I guess he saw the winning move and offered a draw. But actually, I don't think I'm winning here. So king e2 walking the other way, and white is actually not winning. Or black is not winning, actually. Not a great game by me. Alright, I think Nils should just slow down a little bit and try to play the best move rather than trying to blitz, and you would have probably maintained a winning advantage. After the opening, he had a massive advantage. I don't know what I did wrong, but it was pretty severe. No, missed it. You missed it. Oh, okay. I thought you saw. Thought you saw a winning move and figured, okay, this is the best time to offer a draw. All right, Pan 3. Now we've played before, I believe, once before. That's the next challenge. You can see I played someone before. I know I don't have to check how many games they have. All right, that was a bad King's Indian. Let's play another one. D4 twice in a row. Man, do not do what I did in that game. The bishop f4. Oh man. All right, I hate the London system. But I never played the black side of that Mar del Plata variation since, I don't know, 1989. I gave it up long ago. Actually, it's not true. I probably played it in 1990. I quit it about 1990. Just too hard to play those race positions, and it's all coming down to like memory. Knight h5 is incorrect. I think the whole thing with b6 is incorrect. But I mean, a5 is probably not the best variation either. I'm trying to remember now. I wouldn't play a5 if I were to play this. I would play knight h5 if I were to play like seriously. Black. I don't know, I just felt like playing a5. I thought maybe you would be less likely to know that than the main line with knight h5. You know too much theory. Well, a line, you know, is a line like I had this game with Enrico Sevillano with white in 1995 in the New York Open where I played, and he played b6 against me. I still wouldn't call it a line. You know, it's not really a good variation for black. I don't think. We can call it what we want to call it, but lines are things that are like legitimately good. I think. It's just a move that's probably not that great. 92. Very solid setup for white. What are we gonna do? I'm taking too much time. I'm used to playing the 7+3 games, so we'll just play b6. I mean, she's played h3, e3, c3. This is like an old school London system. If white wants to play like, let's say, e4, they'd have to lose the tempo to do that. This is This was played against me by this Russian guy, I remember. Pionkov, Yevgeny Pionkov. It's like a international master, an old international master who plays for a draw every game. So, do you trade bishops? No. I'm going to try to not trade bishops to embarrass that bishop on f3. It's a very similar idea played against me by Pionkov. I mean, it wasn't probably the exact same position, but the same idea. Doing bishop e2, bishop f3. It's really weird. That's really weird for white. Alright, a4. It's a standard kind of move. Kind of makes me want to play knight c6 to stop a5 by knight in an aggressive square. This has the downside of blocking my bishop on b7. Hey world loser, what's up? We have you in the challenges? Yeah. First time we'll get to play in a long time. Now white just goes berserk with like g4, giving the bishop a fallback square. But honestly, I mean, white's position looks really kind of coffee house here. e5. Unfortunately, that might involve sacrificing a pawn. Can we justify it? We can probably justify sacrificing a pawn here with e5. Trying to open it up. White's neglected development and king is still in the center. She can take this pawn on d5, but black's coordination is better, you know? And now, I mean, there's this threat of knight d3 check and the threat of queen takes d5, so this seems like it should give me some serious compensation. Maybe not enough. Maybe she can find ways to deal with this, deal with my threats. But anyway, it's not easy. White is still got a lot of weaknesses, it seems to me. So, now what? Rook e8, queen e7. I'm going to have to allow some simplification here. But I like our pawn sacrifice in general. You can take with the bishop as well. Maybe I don't have enough for the pawn. No, I should though. I mean, what is white going to do here? It's not so easy to get developed. Alright, so Tamale, ABD. This guy challenged me to chess 960 from Romania. That's fine. I'll play a chess 960. Gazim, Baleful. We lost world loser though. He's back. So it looks like everybody has at least 100 games. There's no new accounts or whatever. And everybody's challenged me to casual. So all these games look like we're going to play. I got 2 hours. Well, I had 2 hours. But if Bob insists, I'll make it an hour and a half. Okay, no, bishop takes c5. Why did I miss this move? Now hold on a second here. For some reason, I didn't really count on this move order, but I have rook d8. But which rook to d8? Maybe rook f d8. Bishop takes g7, then take on d5. There's no time for tricks here. Secret move. Pantherina tricky. I don't want her taking bishop takes f8 with tempo on my queen. Now we have in-between moves. 1999 was a good year. I played the Isle of Man. I played the Canary Islands. I played in Venezuela. I played in a lot of good tournaments in 1999. Maybe I'm getting them confused. Was Venezuela the same year? I don't know. Alright, so what do we got here? We got to take. and we're winning our pawn back at least, with white having some issues. Queen takes check, taking on d5 with tempo, and this could be hanging in some positions. We're gonna get to snap this pawn. Alright. 1999 was the year I became an international master. Rook takes. White's surviving. I could play rook e8 and just forget about this pawn, but actually, why do that? First do this, then rook e8. Yeah. We should be winning here. We should be winning, right? Rook e8, next move, and white is like paralyzed. Still not that easy though. There's also rook d8. Maybe that's even stronger with the threat of rook d2. Wow. Because I have rook d2, she's paralyzed. Maybe stronger than rook e8. And then we talk about the queen for the two rooks again. I have bishop h6 improving my position, whereas white has a hard time improving her position. I mean, I can improve my piece pressure with bishop h6 and increased control of d2, rather than just blindly playing rook d2. And you know, we get something like rook d2, it's unclear. But if I can play bishop h6, she just resigned here. It's kind of a premature resignation, but black is probably winning. I mean, the computer wants to play h4, no doubt, to stop bishop h6. Alright. So, Tamale is up next. We'll play as many games as I can. 1991 was the year we got 2 feet of snow at the end of April, leaving snow on the ground all the way till July. That might have been the year when there was this really late snowstorm. I don't remember. Wait 30 seconds, please. Yeah. So, no, I think that was a different year, Soltigo. You were in Maine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. 2 feet of snow at the end of April. Yeah, okay, that was it. But I didn't remember what year that was. In Boston, I was in Boston, and we got that late snowstorm too. I remember, like, it was like spring break, and there was like a snowstorm, and that was like stopping trains and stuff like that. That's pretty weird. Alright, so we played 2 Kings Indians. Everybody plays d4 today. That's cool. Something different. We're usually seeing e4 from everyone. But I was talking about 1999. What made you say 1991? Just it was Pantherina's rating was 1999. And that was for anybody who like fails to understand the relevance of what I'm talking about. I just am talking about random numbers and associating them with years, just to kind of shoot the proverbial shit here. Excuse me, Panda, for my bad language. Oh, hey guys, we haven't seen anybody playing h4 yet, so if you'd like to do that. The next stream will be the subscriber and friends simul on Sunday, so I'm going to restrict the entries a little bit from just anybody to our subscribers and close friends of the stream. I'm not going to have a set number of players. We'll kind of fly by the seat of our pants. Thought I heard you say 91 was the year became an IM. No, man, I'm not that old, man. No, 99 I got the title. No, I became like a national master in 91 probably, actually. A USCF national master. World Loser's like, are you talking about Alaska? No, he's talking about Maine. That's the other side of the country. Okay, well, sort of. The other side of the continent. Alaska is colder than Maine. Maine isn't that bad. But New England, where we lived, both of us, had really severe snowstorm in April in that year, which was very, very freaky. I remember I had to take a train to Philadelphia from like Boston, and the train was canceled or something in like mid-April. All right, so e5, and we're in a knight a6 Kings Indian. I feel like I know this better than the other line I played earlier. Roman used to insist on this variation, what, bishop g4. But most theoreticians don't like bishop g4 here. I've never been to Alaska, World Loser, but years ago they did have a chess cruise to Alaska. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. Good theory here by White. And, yeah, I don't know if I really have anything prepared here. Let's see, rook e8. Seems like a strange move. But I'm just trying to play fast. I don't recall this being the right move. I'm a little concerned I might have made an error. But on the other hand, it's not so easy for White to exploit it. I guess d5 there might have been a good move for him. But let's see. Take c6. Guess. For lack of another plan. The bishop f3 is very artificially placed. However, I didn't like this threat of e5 here, so I'm going to do this. I don't really want to trade the dark squared bishops. Had a conversation with one of my people that I was working with recently about this. If there was a pawn in e5 for black, then the exchange of dark squared bishops is good. If there's no pawn in e5, then that really isn't the case any longer. But White's, man, everybody knows how to play the white side of the King's Indian, apparently. Everybody knows how to play openings now. You know, it used to be not so much the case. Need a good square for my queen. Is Hungary a chess nation? Well, I wouldn't call it a chess nation, but you know, the average people on the street. It's not like Armenia, where like you can ask like the taxi driver like about chess, but it's just a small country with a fairly strong, fairly strong nation as far as chess goes. I mean, the Olympiad, many times Hungary's been in the top 10 in the last, say 20 years. I mean, that's impressive for a size country like that. They were medalists in a recent Olympics, chess Olympics. So that's pretty impressive. All right, let's just play knight c7. I don't know what else to do. But White is fine here. Yeah, e5, that's a good. He's 1300. He's 1300. Playing really well for 1300. White has no problem. He is absolutely at least equal here. Man, I mean 1300. Damn, dude. Your ratings are a little low, dude. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. We've said this before. I have a perfect score against him, but come on, I mean, he's played this great. He's made no mistakes thus far. So, I don't know about this move. It feels like a safe move, but okay, he doesn't have knight a4. Queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, knight a4. White remains with the bishop pair. We might be able to grind him down in an endgame. Yeah, I mean, Hungary was like, did they win the gold in the chess Olympiad not that long ago, or was it like silver? I can't remember. Really, really strong for the size of the population in chess. But the average people on the street aren't into chess. It's not as popular as, say, like in Russia or something, Actually, I can't even get like a game in the park or anything. It's hard to find like park chess in Budapest. Whereas like in American cities, you can find, okay, there's some people, but you can't find as much like outside chess, like say just people playing on the street, like in New York City or even Boston or Washington D.C. You find more people like just playing chess in the city parks than in Budapest. It's hard. You don't find many. Maybe one place I can think of. It's really, really dismal. But the Hungarian chess is pretty good. The knight c5. Yeah, football. Orban is gung-ho on football because he played football when he was a kid, so he's done everything he can to pump money into Hungarian football. It hasn't done much. He built a lot of stadiums, but building stadiums doesn't make the country good at football. You It takes more than that. Finally, a very big mistake by Tamale there, trading his good dark squared bishop, and now he's actually losing material. So what do we see here? Like white just kind of losing concentration. He played great for the first 16 moves, and then starts making exchanges like releasing tension. Yeah, so John Bartholomew playing someone who blitzed out 23 moves of semi-Slav steer theory, and the second move out of book he allowed a skewer. Well, I mean, you know, yeah, it's not enough to just memorize theory, obviously. I mean, Tamale didn't, though. I mean, I played a weird move with rook e8, taking us out of book, and then he played a kind of weird move in the position. It wasn't really theory. I wouldn't call it theory. It was just kind of a offbeat position out of a normal general line. But yeah, you can't just memorize moves. I don't advocate that, and I tell people all the time that it's far more important to concentrate on middle game and end game than it is on the opening. But the opening's easy to learn. You know, that's the thing. Like, the opening is the easiest stage of the game to learn, and it's just amazing how good people are getting at chess opening theory. Now this bishop, I mean, this rook ending is winning for me. I'm just thinking about what's the best way to do this. It's going to take some skill to execute this, I guess. He's got the damaged structure. He's down a pawn. I got to get my king to the center. He could cut me off here with like rook e3 there. He's going with his king. So he understands this concept of centralizing his king pretty well. This is probably a mistake by me, perhaps. Did you miss the tactics? I'm sure I missed tactics. I was just trying to play fast. But I mean, a winning position is a winning position. I don't care, you know, if I'm winning by 9 or winning by plus 1.5. As long as I know what I'm doing and I have a plan. It's better to have a bad plan than no plan at all, right? Maybe he'll like transpose into a lost king and pawn endgame here. After rook e3, say. Now it's over. So yeah, I mean, like this guest said, Stinger, if you know 20 moves of theory but you can't play an endgame at all, like, you're studying the wrong thing. You know, I mean, you're definitely focusing on the wrong thing. And like, Nils knows a lot of theory, but he seems like a fairly advanced player, our first opponent. So maybe it's appropriate at his level. But if you're like 1300 and you're memorizing 20 moves of theory, I mean, that's just going too far. Tamale had a good position. I think he was least equal after, let's say, rook e8. I mean, this is a very rare move, what I did here. Guseynov played it once. I mean, it may not be that bad, but it's not supposed to be the right move. Bishop takes f3. I hate playing that, though. It's simplifying. Okay, it's a move, rook e8. This is a kind of rare line. And now he played what? h3? Eirik Gullikson played bishop d7 here. Wow. For me, that's very strange, you know, to go back to d7. The other guy, he's a Norwegian IM. And someone else, that's strange. I mean, to go back, that's very weird. Alright, anyway. But he had a good opening, you know, slight advantage. Rook e1. What am I missing, Nefedov? Don't play games with me, just tell me what I missed. What did I miss? Rook e1? I didn't see. What tactic did I miss? Be more specific. Rook e1 question mark. What tactic did I miss? I literally don't have a clue what you're talking about. You know, earlier when there were like 3 pieces on the board, I assumed you were talking about you know, bishop, knight, and rook. I might have missed something like stronger. Not transposing to the rook endgame. But you think that rook e1 by me was a bad move? I don't know what to do. Alright. back to the game here with c4. Here's how popular chess in my area. They built a park and added a chessboard made of stone in the center of the park. 1 year later, assuming nobody used it, they removed the chess table and added public benches instead. What happened to the chess table? Did someone steal it? Every minute up in your clock is worth at least 1 point. I don't agree with that. Calculated chess, but it's largely dependent on the time control. And you're probably talking about sudden death. You know, this is 5 plus 3. When you've got an increment that goes out, I mean, that kind of calculation goes out the window. Rook e1, white moves king, give check with bishop. Yeah, I saw that. Funny that I saw that going in. I saw that and then I was like g3. Give check with bishop. White has to move the pawn, which undermines protection of white's bishop, after which you can fork the rook and bishop with your force. Okay, I don't know. Someone just got banned, yeah. 2 people just got banned simultaneously. That was kind of cool. But anyways, my horse. Why was no excessive use of... Okay, he didn't get banned. He used caps. Alright. I'm getting distracted, guys. I don't know. Okay. I wasted like a minute on just thinking about the stream and discussing it. So this European guy, definitely. Soltigo. So I didn't understand the end of that whole variation, but yeah. I saw the rook check and the bishop check and then forgot about it in my haste. If you guys want to play for time, it's much more important in sudden death games, you know. But it depends. A minute in time when you've got 3-second increment doesn't mean that much. Too Shark, what's up? If you try to flag people with the increment, I'm not really trying to just flag people. I'm just trying to. This is an irritating move. I hate when they do C takes D. It's probably not a great move by me either. Basically, I have no advantage here. But I know that. I'm prepared for that. When I play knight f3, g3 on move 1 and move 2, I'm accepting the fact that I'm going to have like an equal position probably. Dropped my blitz rating? Talking to me? I lost like 55 points on a disconnection the other day. Then I actually tanked it further on tilt and brought it back up to where it was. This is like my post disconnection rating. I lost, I don't know, well maybe I'm exaggerating. It was like 45 points. I was up a piece against the 1700 and I just like got disconnected by the lag. So that was good. Never ever play for absolutely play for time when there's an increment or time delay. You know, it's very important. If you're playing 5-0 blitz, I could argue that a minute on the clock is starting to be really significant. Yeah. If you're playing 3-0, it's like huge, obviously, you know. But if you're playing 5 plus 3, it's a little different, you know. You're just kind of putting pressure on the other guy. It's more like a psychological thing. He's not really in danger of losing on time with a 3-second increment, but the bigger the time advantage, the more he becomes intimidated and maybe like freaks out and makes a blunder. It also depends on who you're playing. I mean, against an experienced player, can I play knight b5 here? That doesn't look right, but it does threaten different stuff. It's kind of materialistic. I just have to accept that I have no advantage. Like, as I said, I should have played... Ooh, that's kind of a weird move. a5. Knight e5. a5 is definitely a bit strange, but still black's position is okay. I don't really have a plan. I mean, like, how many points have you climbed? What's your first rating after the provisional? Are you talking to me, guys? Tom Alir? You talking to 2 Shark? 2100 Blitz. I don't know who they're talking to. Can't be talking to me. It's been a while since I had a provisional rating. Alright. So, white does not have an advantage here. That's pretty clear. But we do have this square, though. I kind of like sitting my knight on b5. It's like the third game. Nefid, I was like, what's wrong with knight b5? Well, nothing. I played it the next move. What can I do? It's not as good as it was, I guess. It's a good square. It's the third game in a row where I don't have an opening advantage. You know, but I try to be practical in this fast time control. Look at Magnus Carlsen. He almost never plays an opening where he's necessarily going to get an advantage or try to get an advantage. He just tries to be practical. Yeah, technique is really important. Most of my streams I'm playing longer, like 7+3 games, where I have a little extra time to talk about the game and kind of try to play the best moves. But you can't try to play the best moves in 5+3, or even, obviously not 5+0 or 3+0 or anything faster. You just have to be practical. Go with the flow. I'm not used to it so much. I was talking to you too, Shark. You have a 1,300 Blitz games and 11 months into lichess account? What? Wait, what are you talking about, too, Shark? You don't have 1,300. Knight h5. You mean you had a 1,300? That was like your first rating? Can't get the context of the conversation here. Guys, thank you for supporting the stream. Merle Dixon with 300-bit donation. I'm just going to take the challenges in order. Hopefully get to play World Loser because he's strong. He was a former moderator, and he doesn't get to play much because of the time zone, you know, lately. So, good to see him. Oh, 1,300 games. All right, now I understand. Thank you for clearing it up now. This guy is really solid. We did play him. We lost a game against him? Was that a simul? Yeah. Oh, that was brutal. He beat us in the simul. I blundered horribly getting mated on the H file. I remember that too. All these guys are tough. 1,600 is pretty solid around here. Third game where I could get no advantage at all with the white, not with the white pieces, but out of the opening. I'm just going to try to grind people down in endgames. It's not very exciting. But I have a lot of confidence in my endgame ability and a lot of experience. People ask me, oh, you like, you know, what's the best part of your game? I think I'm like a journeyman, and I'm like a jack of all trades. I don't think I'm really, you know, specialist in anything, but I'm decent at everything. I'm probably like strongest in defense and like, let's say, you know, practical chess. 97, another very solid move. He's threatening maybe knight to c5. Seriously, dude. This guy's 1,600. We lost to him in that simul game. He's way too solid to be 1,600. I don't know, man. I guess he's just playing like that against me. Maybe he plays like more risky against other people, but if you played like this, you'd have to be higher than 1,600. Just too solid to lose, basically. I mean, white has no plan here. This is another excellent move, just kind of refuting my stupid idea. I have to let my pawn structure be broken. I've got 2 sets of double pawns. Look at this guy. Making my pawn structure look ridiculous. 2 sets of double pawns. Played like God so far. Maybe rook d7? Rook c7, excuse me. Rook on the 7th. In the knighted game, I could be in trouble. I mean, there is no knight in game right now. Maybe f4 before he has time to play. Before he has time to play e5, make my double pawns sort of count for something. He probably gets good positions but loses on time. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty impressive. He's not losing on time. He's got a 3-second increment. I mean, will he ever lose on time with that increment? It's not clear. Played like a champ so far. Like, literally. His play is pretty scary, actually. Rook c6. Can I do this? Winning a pawn. Extremely solid customer. We're on the 7th, right? It's pretty capable. Check or not to check. Say I can play king d1. I'm not so sure about this, that I like this that much. This was a good move by me, though. I have knight d4 and knight e6 check. He was tough. He's still hanging in there. Now he's going to create more problems. No, he's going to get mated. Almost mated, but not quite. He had a piece there with rook e1. I played this poorly. Rook f7 was like the worst move ever. We'll try to play for mate. Maybe that's the best idea. Now we're threatening mate. There's no way he's going to stop my king now. Okay, he still has... Actually, there's no good move, right? So the meltdown in the endgame. Lou Barlow. White's early play in the game was like awesome. I mean, he really played like a master till the end of the endgame. Like, look at the position. Even after like 30 moves, he still like has a perfect position. Here he's slightly better, probably. Still, I'd prefer black, and then he has this. So the whole thing basically fine. Then I get on the 7th. I have like this itty bitty advantage. And somehow I managed to win here. Looks like here, but around this point, I was winning by then. F4 was a good move. Here, we have a very small advantage, and then we managed to milk it into something here. Taking this pawn was actually a mistake, according to the engine. I was wondering about that. All right, guys, let's move on. We're going to play a chess 960. I don't mind that one chess 960 game. That's kind of fun, you know, to mix it up, play something different. I play e4. We can castle here pretty quickly. That looks kind of cool. Alright, we'll play f3. My favorite opening move. We got an advantage when we got the rook on the 7th, even with the messed up pawns, the double Isolanis and the doubled f pawns, and the isolated d pawn. Having that active piece on the 7th gave us the advantage, but I guess I cashed in too quickly with grabbing the pawn, surprisingly. He's going to play for like smothered mate, knight f4 and knight e2. How do we answer that? Maybe we can play bishop f2 and like knight f4, rook e1. Play for mate in 1. MGH, actually. We played twice. He's from Romania, but not a player I really know. What's up, guys? We've got a lot of viewers today. 99. So 3 games in a row, and I felt like I'm not getting anything out of the openings. I'm just playing practically, and I'm even like worse. But it's not enough to know the opening. You have to play chess, you know, the entire game, middle game and game especially. A lot of these players who I know, you know, like Kamsky, Alexei Dreyev, and I mentioned Karpov because they were trained the opposite way. You don't need to know the openings when you start out. You know, become a grandmaster strength player first, and then learn openings. That's basically the way that Karpov and those guys were taught. D5 is a really good move. Just taking the center here. I think this was too creepy crawly what I did here. The F3, not really a great opening. I'm actually worse in the opening in Chess 960 than I am in regular chess, which is interesting. Do you think that chess.com, by promoting John Urschel, it plays Avruch's Catalan repertoire, hurts beginners, or it's a cliche that you have to start with E4? Okay, so John Urschel is that football guy from MIT or whatever, isn't it? He plays Avruch's Catalan repertoire, hurts beginners, or it's a cliche that you have to start with E4. No, I mean, I don't see it as it hurting anybody. But I think that it's probably best to learn E4 because the positions are like dynamic and open. You know, I didn't learn with E4 myself, and I feel like that handicapped me a little bit. So if I had to do over again, I would say, yeah, we should probably do the cliche thing and start with E4. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. You know, you're talking about a very minor difference, really. Black is already better. He played this opening like extremely accurately. I'm terrible at Chess 960 openings, and I haven't played any Chess 960 in a while. There's something wrong with Twitch's Asian server. It lags a lot. So, I don't know. I mean, I think that yes, theoretically E4, E5 is probably the best. Like learning open positions, classical positions. What are you talking about? I analyzed 10-year-old Anatoly Karpov's game. His opening already was better than mine. That's not saying much. No, I mean, apparently Karpov was taught, that's what they say, he was taught to not really focus on openings. And not focusing on openings is still pretty good, I guess. They wanted him to become, they claimed that's why he became a very strong defensive player, Nefedov, because he didn't focus on openings that much as some of the others. I mean, he still learned openings, I'm sure, but maybe not as much as some of the other kiddies at the Pioneer Palace. A little bit less of a focus on just the opening. But maybe his opening repertoire is better than yours. It's possible. The 10-year-old Karpov? You analyzed the 10-year-old Karpov game? I'd never seen those. That's interesting. I never went back and analyzed Karpov's games from his childhood. Kind of a cool idea. What will we see? Alright. But I always blindly use that example because that was written of him. You know, I can't admit that I've looked at his games from his childhood. So Castle's here. One thing is for sure, I'd never listen to the stream of play. I'm an amazing kibitzer. This guy's a GM. What a move. This guy can't be 1300. Oh, look, he dropped a pawn. Yeah, man, but I mean, you know, if you're 1300, you're supposed to be like hanging pieces and stuff, you know. And I'm grinding people down. I mean, I'm grinding these 1300s down, you know, the way I would grind down like a 1900 in a long game or something, you know. And that's typically the way I feel. So the first thing that I have to get used to is the fact that people just play the openings worlds better than they used to. I mean, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you know, even 10 years ago. The availability of information, no longer you have to like, you no longer have to pay like $400 to like buy like a complete chess base opening database in order to learn openings. That was kind of the case at one point. I mean, now like Opening Explorer exists for free online. Here I'm worse again. I'm always saying I'm worse in Chess 960, but I really am, you know. This guy's played this opening perfectly. Now, maybe he plays a lot of chess 960, I don't know. But I mean, I know that I don't, and I haven't lately. He's got provisional chess 960, yet he challenged me to chess 960. That's kind of weird, isn't it? The fact that he's provisional chess 960 and challenged me to chess 960. I'm just worse now. You'd think like this guy plays chess. He challenged me. He's the only person who challenged me to chess 960. He was like a chess 960 aficionado. But I looked and he's got like no games. He's got 6 games. That's weird. That's only in Russia. When I went to chess school 13, 14 years ago in Denmark, he also focused on endgame mainly. Well, I mean, that's traditionally, yeah, the way that you're supposed to. Alex Yermolinsky, and just as an example, every Russian schoolboy knows, you know, the Soviet system was to teach children the endgame first. But I mean, it's obvious that the endgame is kind of funny because beginners generally don't reach equal endgames. I think I'm going to lose to this guy. I'm just getting, like, sort of crushed here. I don't have a good feeling about this game. Man, I don't remember playing him before, but I have a very bad position here. 7+2. I'm just getting rolled. He's playing really, really well. Perfectly, I would say. Alright, my knight's going to get kicked away, so we retreat. I would say Black's play is absolutely perfect. Perfect efficiency. I played passively. Maybe I can beat him on time. I don't know. This is terrible for me. This guy has played a perfect game. Make a full movie of it? Well, if you think about it, okay, like when you're 1300 lichess, you're supposed to be like probably 1100 FIDE, which means you just like drop pieces and stuff. So, if you're 1600 lichess, it's probably around 1400 FIDE, which means that you play 20 moves and then you drop a piece. But the majority of people I play here, they're like dropping pawns on move 35 or something, you know, so that's not what you expect. I understand the lichess is not the same, but we can still create like a basic like comparison. My experience playing here for over 2 years is that the difference is probably fairly significant, of like lichess being a little bit inflated by around 200 points on average. Black's just better. F4, excellent move. And eventually I'm going to have to crack here. Maybe I can play E4, actually. Or maybe I can just keep it locked up. Could F4 be a mistake? Maybe. The first move I've been at all skeptical of. At first it looked good, but then if I can lock it up... It also takes pressure off the center. You could argue that F4, although he's gaining space, some kingside threats, he is taking pressure off the center there. Still looks like he has kind of nasty threats with queen g5, obviously. Queen g5, knight h4, blah blah blah. His time uses. Thank you for subscribing, Marco. Yeah, you can almost predict his moves. Isn't that weird? You like know what he's gonna play before he plays it. It's kind of strange. Of course, a good move is a good move. Knight h4 is going to be difficult to defend against. I'm going to have to trade that off, I guess. Rook e2. I guess we have alternate defenses like bishop g1. It looks horribly passive though. Yeah, you can basically predict his moves. Bishop g1, allowing the knight to just stay there. This looks almost insane. That's got to be a mistake by me. How am I going to get rid of the knight? I should have just taken it. Yeah, I should just resign here. Maybe I can play like g3. No, that's too late for that too. Yeah, I'm just going to resign this. I don't like this game. Final position is just too good for black. We'll probably see like 0 cent upon loss for black in this game. It's just too perfect. What do you have for cent upon loss? He made a mistake apparently. I made a lot. It's hard to be perfect in chess 960. I'm just done here. I had to take the knight on h4. I know I made a lot of mistakes, but black played a great game. Alright, anyway, that's our last chess 960 game for another year or so. Not interested. He played like a grandmaster. Time was also like he would play the same move again. The Clash Kid, what's up? Always played the same move. Always played his move like exactly at the same, using the same amount of time every single move. Very, very difficult to say. Clash Kid, what's up? You disagree heavily. In endgames, there are less pieces on the board, but way more moves to consider usually. Yeah, that's interesting. And also, I think endgames require a lot of precision. You know, endgames require excellent precision, whereas like there's room to make mistakes in the middle game. Yeah, I had enough of that last game. That was not interesting to me. Now apparently he didn't play perfectly, but he played perfectly enough to crush me like a dog. Alright, I don't feel like playing chess 960 today anymore after that game. Okay, e3. I think I have to take here on c3 now. I mean, I've seen other ways of playing. I don't trust this variation for black though. I've had some bad experiences here. So maybe it's best not to play d6. I was thinking about playing b6. And I never actually got around to testing it out yet in a tournament game. But b6, it's an interesting alternative. I have a lot of friends who are Romanian. I've spent a lot of time in Romania, so... yeah, I don't think trust has to do with nationality. There's good and bad people everywhere. Yeah. Stinger, are you from Romania? Is that why you said that? I don't know if he was using an engine or he was legit. I mean, it's impossible to say. Just, I don't like the way he played almost seemingly perfectly, and also his time use was the same exact amount of move time, like for every single move. That's usually a bad sign when people do that. You know, it's like they're using the engine or something. But I don't know. You know, maybe he's really, really good at chess 960. Okay, bishop a3. Yeah, that's a weird move, putting the knight out there on a3. Excuse me, bishop. I'm a little bit out here. And now queen b3. He played queen c1. So I thought queen b3, because that would give him queen b5 sometimes, I guess. Bishop a3 is not really good plan, and there's another move that he made which is probably not good. d4. What was this? This was criticized. This idea of playing for d4 was criticized by Richard Palliser in a book, but I think he was talking about like a later position where like white was already castled. Basically, castles knight f6 d4. Palliser criticized that. I actually lost a bad game in this position against Vilmos Balint in a rapid tournament. It probably went like that, like castles, knight f6, d4, e5, and then something happened that I don't remember. But basically the best plan for white is not d4, but actually e4. And I think there's a Carlsen Nakamura game in this exact line. Something like b takes c, f5, castles. I want to say knight f6, but does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. If I have time to play knight f6. Maybe castles, knight f6, d3, and then e4 to follow. But I don't like white's position here. Queen c1. I don't know Gianu. No, he's a player who's, I'm much older, and I know, some of the older players, his generation. He's like the same generation as like Chirilla and stuff like that. I know different people, but not him. I think I was at the same tournament once in Predial. Knight f6. No. I mean, I have a lot of friends from Romania who play in like Hungarian team championship and stuff like that. But that's about it. When you go back to Europe, I really enjoyed the Simul games. Yeah, Clash Kid, I'm coming back in like 2 weeks. So I have some friends from Timișoara. I mean, I don't know where Gianu's from. He's probably from like the eastern part of Romania or Bucharest. I don't know. The guys who are closer to the Hungarian border, I'm in contact with more likely. So he proposes a take back. All right, yeah. All right, castles. Yeah, that was a mouse click. I do give takebacks. Not in rated games, maybe. But in casual, I would never decline a takeback for a mouse slip. I like it when you're like up a piece and people ask for a takeback, or they dropped a piece, they ask for a takeback. What are you supposed to do, Alright. World Loser, Rook B1. World Loser's up next. Now, Baleful, World Loser. I'm going to play a couple games. Got almost an hour left. The MGH guy has 21,900 games. 2 against Bob and 2 against Gazim. That's a lot. 21,960 games. Oh. I was like 21,960 games. That is a small world. That's weird. But I don't think anyone would be inclined, to cheat unless there was a reason to do so. Basically, if you're playing me, maybe you want to like look cool by beating a title player and have your friends watch or something. I don't know. But against random people, cheating is really weird. But I'm not going to go on paper saying he cheated for sure. It looks like we both made mistakes. I just think that, his speed of play was pretty suspicious. So here, oddly enough, it's a little tricky for me to get out of the situation. I mean, he's threatening Rook B5. Maybe I can play like Queen A4. I mean, there's nothing I can do about Rook B5 except for B6. Weakening this diagonal. I'm really thinking about a lot of things here. Like John Fedorovich said, think a lot, think about all you got. Alright, let's kick him out. Weaken my position further. You guys can check out our Discord channel. Pub Slaggy on Discord. And the Rook B5 is going to come down though, and I better do something fast about it. And this knight is coming back to F4. So I really like my position, but maybe castling was wrong. It's possible. It's probable that I even played E4 too quickly. I made a lot of mistakes. Knight H3, there's nothing to think about here. This is a blunder, I would say, unless he's planning on sacrificing a piece. He just made a terrible miscalculation. I mean, you better sacrifice a piece now. We take on C4. And that's messing up his whole plan, basically. I mean, maybe Queen B2 and White still has compensation. But my queen can come back here to F7. This was a bad moment to play Rook B5 while I have Queen A4 and Queen takes C4. Simple tactical mistake. What is strange? It is strange that the guy would have 21,960 games only, and then 5 of them would be against either me or the people who play in my stream. Yeah, that's kind of odd. But his chess 960 games, I didn't see too many there. It's also strange that he would challenge me to chess 960. As I mentioned before the game, he only has like a handful of chess 960, like 1,000 other games. What made him challenge me to chess 960? I mean, and then play like great, Whatever. It's all in the past. You sent me a private message. Is it like a secret? Should I announce it on the stream? Okay, we try to keep it locked down now. Can you try to open it up with F3? Well, it's a little too late for that. I think Gazim's position is dubious now. Whereas before it was very promising. Still, he's staying alive. There is this idea of penetrating to d6 inside the black position there. That looks kind of irritating. Maybe first I get back, or maybe knight a5. There's bishop f1. I almost forgot. That's his other idea here. Okay, let's go home. Anyone in for greed? Greedy idea? Queen takes a2. Either it's coincidence or he challenges. I'm sure. Yeah, it's got to be he challenged them. They're not going to go around challenge people to chess 960, right? It's kind of rare. Knight on f4 is too good. The bishop, we're just trying to keep this dead here. No, you don't have to. Just know sometimes I don't get a pop-up from Twitch when I get one. Alright, yeah, I don't use Twitch for communication much, guys, so if you do want to contact me, definitely send me a message on lichess. You can send them on Twitch, but the Twitch pop-ups I also find irritating to deal with. They're like, you have to click on it, then it sits there, then it's like blinking or whatever. You have to like answer it, or it just sits there forever. I don't know. I don't like using the Twitch Messenger or whatever you want to call it. So, not a perfect game here. Not a lot of perfect games in this time control 5+3. It's amazing the difference. We have a lot of really high quality games, I feel like, in 7+3, but in 5+3 it's like a whole different world. I also have other excuses, like I'm not used to playing in the morning. I only had one coffee today. Can we think of like 10 good excuses for not playing that well? So he finally plays f3. Yeah, but he's in trouble now. I mean, it just doesn't seem that effective anymore. Okay, still it's worth a try. Take it, let's take it and trade it off. And that's a good golden principle. Like when you've got an opponent who has two bishops against, let's say, two knights, or bishop and knight versus, you have like bishop and knight versus two bishops. What you want to do is like eliminate one of their bishops. So we actually get something valuable from this game. We have the concept of like killing the bishop pair and playing against his bishop. And so I'm just going to concentrate on white squares here. It's really easy to do. Fortunately, I kind of give him a move with rook takes. I can play queen takes a2, highly materialistic move. But we are threatening a knight, and he can't play rook b2, and that's basically as far as I analyzed. Picking up pawns. How do you guys deal with your over-the-board losses? You just go home and be calm. I find that it's difficult, Clash Kid, when it's the last game you play and played in like a tournament or something and you lost. That's very hard for me. I like it when there's another game coming up and you can just kind of forget about it. But for me, yeah, that's the hardest. It's the last game you played, like the end of the tournament, or it's a team game. It's hard to deal with losses, you know, harder for some people than others, but play blitz. I don't know, you know, I would often put it out of my mind by trying to distract myself with another game, you know. Try to play some blitz. I don't know. You don't play a lot of blitz, Clash Kid, probably. But I think that's an alternative solution, you know. Take your mind off it by winning a game, you know. Gazim just went kind of nuts here. I think you get your confidence back. You know, my problem is that I have very weak self-confidence, so this would happen to me in poker a lot too. I would lose my self-confidence very easily. Like I could literally like win $10,000 one day, and then if the next day I play really badly, it just like I forget the good things really easily. I just remember the bad things, and I'll just forget the positive things so easily. And this is not a good way to be. I mean, you could win like 10 games in a row and then like lose one bad game, and you just remember that, you know, focusing on the wrong stuff. So try to get back and play some games, whatever time control it is. Get your self-confidence back. Take it really hard. I lose to someone who I shouldn't lose to. Yeah, well, I just don't like losing in general. And it's become a problem for me because it's affected my style to the point where I think I'm more afraid of losing than I want to win. And that's why I have so many draws. This is kind of I need to be like a little self-analytical, but to play more aggressively and not be afraid of losing, I think is an optimal style. If you look at someone like Mamedyarov, he's literally not afraid of losing. He just wants to win, and he'll take risks to do so. Another King's Indian. I've been playing that today. Knight f3 this time. Everyone else played e4, which is more critical. I also played knight f3. So, gosh, the bishop f4, man, I hate that. We're going to play c5. Against bishop f4, bishop g5, I think the best is to play c5. We could transpose to a Grunfeld here. If e3, d5 goes into kind of a mainline Grunfeld, yeah, that's what we got now, right? This is a bishop f4 line, which I don't really play the Grunfeld too much. An opening used to play. Thank you, Soltigo, for your help. This h3 looks a little too slow. Now I got a message. I was just talking about messages. How hard and annoying they are to deal with. Alright. So we took with a knight. Yeah, that's kind of irritating. I'd like to play this Panov attack type of structure. It's more imbalanced. But instead he takes with a knight, and that's very solid for white. There's not a lot to do. That's very interesting here. I mean, knight c6 looks like a standard move, but also allows like trades and stuff. As an alternative, I guess I could consider like b6, bishop b7. I'm a little concerned about that plan we saw earlier today. b6, bishop e2, bishop b7, bishop f3. Then maybe knight on bd7, and I could threaten a fork with e5. Alright, whatever. We'll try it. Marco, thanks for subscribing. You're sitting on 1400 lichess. Haven't played chess in years. Wondering whether to focus more on openings or more in-depth endgame studies. I seem to fall behind after the first 10 moves due to some kind of blunder. I mean, I think at your level, at the 1400 level, even the 1600 level, the problem that I've encountered in this whole school of endgames first thing is that people just don't get many equal endgames. You know, the bottom line is that you just don't get very many games where your opponent and you are playing so close a game that the endgame comes down to being really critical. I think the middle game is really the most important to focus on at that level. Obviously tactics you can learn from doing problems and puzzles and whatnot, but I feel like this is a better advice. Endgames are great. Endgames are useful. It will benefit you in the long run, but I think the number one thing is to play better in the middle game. Practical considerations. I did a middle game course for the site called the Chess World. Something like that, where you're really studying concrete middle game concepts, is gonna have more mileage than anything else. Openings is not going to help that much. Endgames may be superfluous. You're just not going to get to use that endgame knowledge that much. But in the middle game is like essential. Obviously, endgame study is very important. But if you want to see practical results, I think the middle game is the most. Jim MGH is little brother, and he loves 960, but he's trying in chess.com, not here. The MGH is my little brother. I thought he was from like a different country. Alright. Wasn't MGH from like Romania? Alright, knight takes d5. I'm confused. Gazim, you're from Romania. I was not aware of that. Alright, e takes f4. I see. E takes f4. So we just want a piece. We swindled him with the one move trap there, you know, just forking a piece. You're 2,000 with puzzles, but it's not paying out so far. Yeah, but puzzles aren't enough. I'm talking about like more middle game strategy. Puzzles are puzzles, and everybody needs to do puzzles and improve their general tactics. What I'm talking about is more like strategic side of the middle game. Fundamental positional concepts and stuff like that. That's going to go the farthest. If you study any single thing. Endgames, openings are useful, but strategic concepts in the middle game, single most important, I think. Every game is going to have a middle game unless you lose. Well, if you lose in the opening in 10 moves, you got a problem. I mean, you've got to know how to play fundamentally in the opening to a point, but you don't need to memorize 20 moves of theory. It can actually be too much information, can be a bad thing, as they say. So we talked about that earlier, like people who play 20 moves of theory, but you know, then they like get out a book and they blunder a piece on the first move out of theory against John Bartholomew or whatever you want. Know a little bit of opening, know the middle game really well, and then slowly learn the end games, and then go back to the openings last. You know, once you become a really competent player. Where are y'all from? Pittsburgh here. Yeah, my family's from Pennsylvania originally. I've only been to Pittsburgh once. It was a very long time ago. Played in a chess tournament. I want to say poker tournament. I don't know why, because I'm missing poker. Played in a chess tournament in Pittsburgh. That was back in like probably 1991. It was a while ago. I left my chess clock on a bus. I remember that. Back in the days of analog chess clocks. I was kind of sad. Alright, so bishop b7. We're just up a piece. It's over. Guys, we got 35 minutes left. Great advice. Soltigo gave great advice. Lichess Puzzles isn't going to teach you much, I'm afraid to say. I like 365 Chess. There's a website. That seems like the best site for free chess tactics puzzles, I would say. Would recommend that. Not to diss Lichess, but, you know. Lichess is not a site that's specializing in this. Doing chess puzzles. I never did that many chess puzzles, honestly. I had these really cool books called the Encyclopedia of Middle Game, or a book. It was actually one book, but there was the Encyclopedia of Middle Games. It was just puzzles organized by theme, you know. I think that's particularly useful. When you can see problems like the Encyclopedia of Chess Middle Games by Chess Informator from Yugoslavia, when you have the puzzles and you can see at least a clue, like you know that there's a theme for these puzzles. Another great tactics book or series is Maxim Bloch, and he did originally like books that were later converted to a program called CT Art, Chess Tactics Art, I guess. I highly recommend that too. I guess you have to pay for that. After b6 was knight b5 an idea. Looks like a weird move, you know. I mean, to go knight b5 looks kind of premature. So early in the opening there. My gut instinct would be that it's okay for me. Should this be mate? It's almost mate. It is mate. Alright. King g7. So JCS, yeah, bishop f4. What's that? So after my move b6, knight b5. Wow, just immediately threatening that. Maybe you catch me there. Yeah. JCS, that's not fair. You're not developing your pieces. Yeah, I think he's right, actually. Maybe I can sack a pawn somehow with knight a6. Knight b5, knight a6. CD, but I'm stuck. So maybe JCS is right. You may have just refuted my stuff, man. Now I guess it's just mate. Bishop e7. Okay, he has rook e1. But we're going to mate him anyway. He found it. What's the fastest way to mate? We're threatening g5. Oh, this is beautiful. Rook takes f4 check. Yes. Man, that's sweet. Rook sacrifice in the endgame. Yeah, that is cute. Alright. So JCS is probably right about b6. I wanted to play something that kept attention without allowing trades. But I think you're right. Like, look at this. b6, maybe just a concrete mistake. Let's see. Okay, h3 is a very rare move. Wow, Kamsky versus Mamedyarov. So Mamedyarov made the routine move that I was reluctant to make. Check this out. 2006 against Gata. I mean, this is like, yeah, I know this is a good move, but it allows a lot of simplification, and it's probably easy for white to have a very simple position. So I was looking for something better. But the engine actually suggests this move, knight e4. Trying to fork the pieces with e5. And apparently, this leads to black's advantage. That's a very surprising move. You know, it feels like you're not developing your pieces. You're moving the same piece twice. It's not the kind of move that feels like, oh, this should be, you know, automatic. Yeah, this is a great move. I'm not developing my pieces. The Stockfish is like, wow, knight b5, e5 with a very complicated game, I guess. But I think JCS is probably right. Oh no, he has bishop takes b8. Even stronger, he wins the exchange here. Bishop takes b8, rook takes b8, knight c6, queen c7, knight takes b8. And now check this out. If you take, you lose your pawn. So you take here first, and the knight is trapped on b8. Okay, this is clearly I made a mistake with b6, and there's two ways to refute it. Your move is simpler here. Now bishop b7, and what happens if knight c7? I'm just losing the exchange. So Stockfish wants to sack an exchange. Takes, and we've got like lots of development. Interesting. At least in a fast time control game, this would be quite interesting. And the engine actually believes that I have enough compensation for the exchange. But bishop takes bishop takes b8 is even better, man. Maybe. But anyway, World Loser's up next. It didn't look right. I knew it didn't look right, but I didn't know what else to do, you know. It's rare in chess that you only have one option. Of course, it's less rare when you're black. And I was right, I didn't have only one option, but I failed to find the right move. Knight e4. Which doesn't develop at all. I mean, it does develop the bishop on g7, essentially, but I didn't even consider knight e4. And Mamedyarov didn't find it either, which makes me feel a little bit better. A lot of d4 today. So World Loser, he's a tough customer. We haven't played in a long time. He's very quick, practical player. I think he's dangerous. Quite a credible score against me. 32 points out of possible 102. We'll stick with our g6, I guess. Of course, I wanted to play knight c6, but it looked like a routine move, so I wanted to try to be creative. White's problem in that game was really the h3 move being kind of slow. So World Loser plays this weird bishop d3. I faced this before against several people here in the stream, including Bob, Morwa, and then someone else recently. Does anybody want to own up to being the last one who played this bishop d3? The other day we actually had it, strangely enough. Wait a second. Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight c6. Yeah, that's an interesting line. Bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight c6. That would transpose to what I had the other day. If knight c6, he can play like bishop e2. So maybe we do this. Silly one move trick, bishop takes b8. I have seen that. And we put a lot of pressure on the dark squares. World Loser actually fell into the same exact position we had the other day. Exact same game. Who was I playing that I got the exact same position against? I think the move order was even different. Oh, Marwa is here. Well, Marwa, you fell into the same trick in a game against me, but He's losing a pawn here. Wait, was it Merle Dixon? This was your game? Was it you? The exact same game. I've had this so many times, it's hard to believe. But I played someone who handled it really, really pretty well. I don't know why people keep playing bishop d3, and it's amazing how bad it is for white. So the big question was, you know, this position and what white will do. It's not assured that World Loser plays the same way as my other opponent. Matkun said, after I got a job, haven't watched me for a long time. Getting a job is unfortunately something we all have to do, unfortunately, at some point. So, rook b1. The guy played, whoever it was, bishop d4 last game, and I actually struggled a little bit. Rook b1 isn't quite as aggressive. So, it feels like we're pushing the envelope, taking a second pawn there. Knight takes b2, bishop d4. For example, knight takes b2, bishop d4, bishop takes d4, knight takes d4, and then knight takes c4. And I don't want to give World Loser an initiative. You know, he's very good attacking. He's a very good attacking player. So I'd rather not, you know, do something crazy. Queen c8 is kind of a funky move. Does that even help me? Or maybe he'll just play queen h4 there, and I'll feel stupid about that move. Alright, I could play queen e6. That's what I was thinking, though. Is that silly? Maybe. Wasting a lot of time here. So queen h4 would be the move. Though there I would have bishop f6, actually. The bishop g5, trade. Wasting too much time, I know. But my knight is off sides, it needs to come back. It's just a question of how and when. Alright, let's try this. Going for the endgame. And then queen h4, queen e6. I could like sack the e-pawn too. I mean, I don't have to yeah, I don't have to worry too much. This move is good also. Not sacking it, but I mean offering an exchange of pawns, like one pawn for the other pawn, would give me a lot of activity. But I also have queen here, maybe queen here. I'm not sure this was the best way to play, but I'm up a pawn. He has some attacking chances, though. Guys, we have like 25 minutes left. It'll probably be like 2 more games after this. Rook e8. Pretty sure it was Bob, but Bob's here, right? Bob would remember. Everyone has to get a job. What do you think I'm doing here? Do you think I'm doing this for fun, Bob? A job is something you do because you don't enjoy it. I mean, a job is something that you do even though you don't enjoy it, right? Alright, a little bit of a tricky situation here. Oh yeah. I was actually kind of hoping for this, because now I have queen g4, and World Loser actually has to trade queens, which he probably doesn't really want to do. Nobody wants to have a job. World Loser just like blindly played queen f2. Luckily for him, like, he's only losing a pawn or something. Am I self-taught? Didn't know that. Seems extremely rare to find good self-taught chess players beyond the FM and NM title. You mean me? Well, I got to FM. I mean, I don't really consider myself self-taught. I mean, I went to the school of hard knocks or whatever. I just learned by accumulating information from many, many, many different sources and people. he doesn't lose a pawn here. Queen f3. Okay. So it's hard to call yourself completely self-taught, you know. I didn't have a formal teacher. The only other person that helped me formally was Roman Djigiashvili, but it was for a very brief period of time, for like a year, maybe less than a year. So I don't know. I mean, I've had a handful of lessons ever. Working with Roman for like a year and a couple of lessons with Dvoretsky. I never had a coach or a teacher formally. With Roman, all I do was I was like hang out with him and we would talk about openings and stuff. It wasn't like formal lessons. Watch him play blitz and help him not to hang pieces and stuff. Let's see. No, Roman, you're hanging your queen. Don't do that. I was good like that. Alright, f5. Fix the pawns on the right color. Get my king toward the center. More losers fast. He's a good practical player. Bob has been timed out for 1 second. It's a good thing, too. Okay, so knight h5, we play bishop h8. We're not going to go for giving that bishop up. We are not going to give up our Larsen bishop. Back after dinner. Okay, guys, we got time for 2 more games after this. So that's going to be, I guess if you have 100 games, you're accepted. Linko does. So Linko and Nikola Chess. Nikola Chess is actually from Hungary, someone I actually know. Imagine how strong I'd be if I had some real lessons. Yeah, I mean, there's always that, oh, what if I was born in the internet age, you know? I would have been a grandmaster for sure. Maybe I wouldn't have even played chess, though, you know? It's like, I would have been, like, playing video games instead, honestly. It's so hard to speculate about this type of could've, should've, would've, if I had been born when. You might be a brony. Alright, world loser. Check. Just because I can. Probably a stupid move. In fact, like, I might have chased his king back to a safer square by doing that. You might be a brony if. We've got everything here. Extra pawn. This h-pawn's overextended. My king is a little safer. Control the center. Pawn up. His pawn is fixed on f4. Okay, I've got a pawn on a dark square too, but... Roman and I hate each other now. But after you know him for a while, everyone hates him. I mean, you know, he's just difficult to get along with, period. It's just a matter of time. You can't not hate or be hated by Roman if you've known him for long enough. Bishop g3. Alright, let's try this. Breaking the defense. Oh no. Does that work? You can do that? A weird move. How come I can't win anything here? It's starting to kind of piss me off, this position. Alright. Whatever. Eventually something's got to give. He's just hanging out. But I think he's done now. Maybe not. Still not so easy. What am I doing here? I'm just trading stuff. Yes. This is a good move. F5. Check. We're going to be up a couple of pawns. Even E5. Either way, I'm winning those pawns. Alright, good game, world loser. Good fight after the mistake in the opening. You can't not hate him. He's very irritating, man. I mean, he's irritating and easily irritated. So, it's difficult. You know, I rarely saw anyone be able to deal with him over a long period of time. Oh, Sia Shokshikar. So we have 2 Hungarians in a row. Actually, Linko and Nikola Chess are both Hungarian. That's weird. What are the chances? And I'm not even in Hungary now. I'll be going back in 2 weeks. Alright, Linko. So another Hungarian. Was he married? Yeah. He was... No, I don't know. I guess I'm not clear on it. If he was legally married or they were divorced or what the deal was. I have no idea. When I met Roman, he was back with his wife, but I think it was an on and off thing. No Budapest Gambit. Not my regular thing. I just live there. I don't play the Gambit. Once in a while, I'll play the Budapest Gambit for fun. It's a fun opening. The one tournament game I ever played in the Budapest Gambit, I lost. It was like probably 1991. Popular year today. Oh no, he played Knight C2. That's a really annoying move. What do we do now? Alright, I'm just gonna make this up. I don't know what to do against Knight C2. Knight C2 is a good move. He's avoiding my standard sort of setup. What are we gonna do? Passive position for black, I would say. The Marazzi, but a really bad Marazzi where we don't have any freedom by trading pieces. Never played this guy before. We'll just do our best Bent Larson imitation. I'm sorry, Ben. Man, B4 is a strong move. You can just do that. Yikes. I guess it's a strong move, but it's also, you know, a move he's got to be responsible for later on. He may live to regret that move. I have no idea. Probably in trouble here. Linko. But I wouldn't have no expectation that this was a Hungarian, because the name has no meaning. The name has no meaning in Madrul. No relation to Hungarian. Alright, so A4, we go after this pawn here. What is he going to do? He's going to have knight A3 now? It's kind of weird. I guess I could play like A5. Whoa, that's sort of suicide. So knight E5, knight A3. Alright, let's play bishop A8, just getting off the hot line there. I don't want to be... Well, I mean, I might have A5 at some point, but I might also have to worry about other stuff. So black's position is kind of dubious. I don't have enough space, and my only hope really here is that he overextends himself. But this move order that I allowed with F3, I don't normally like to do. I could try to play F5 at some point. It's obviously very risky. The other move is A5, but like A5, my B6 pawn becomes a target. Yeah, I mean just A5, pawn takes pawn, bishop B6. That's like kind of scary. Knight E5, knight A3. He just keeps this. This is a really ugly situation. I don't like my game at all here. No politics, please. Karol Kipis said, I'm from Poland and I don't play Polish. Good idea. There's no American opening. Unfortunately, it's a discrimination. It's obviously discrimination against Americans. The fact that there is no American opening. Should we play a5? It's a plan, at least. It's a bad plan, but it's a plan. You know, so we'll do it. At least it clarifies the situation one way or another. So pawn takes pawn, knight takes, bishop takes b6, resigns. But I have pawn takes pawn, bishop b6, and then queen e8 or something like that. It's not that devastatingly bad. The Marshall Gambit. Well, we have, yeah, things from the United States that are named, like the Cambridge Springs Defense or whatever. That's a town in Pennsylvania. Please. I get enough politics every day when I turn on the computer and read the newspaper. We don't need to politicize the chess stream. Queen e8. We don't like queen d7 because that's actually hanging. Alright, now he's really extending himself full on here. I mean, f5 is risky. What can I do, though? I'm scared. Knight c5? Do I ever have a threat? Is it just me, or do I never have a threat? Isn't that weird? Kind of weird. Rook b8, maybe? Is f5 a problem? Can I play f5? Man, this guy is scary. It's a new account. It's 1826 in Bullet. Like 2200 in Blitz. I'm scared. What am I supposed to do? So knight c5, e5 is the entire point. Might have to sack a pawn or something. I'm going to have to sack a pawn. Something utterly desperate here, it looks like. Chuck Blitz. He only plays Blitz. Well, it's a new Blitz. It's a new account. No, he's 579. That takes a while to play 579, actually, so it's not that new. I was expecting e5, and then we're just going to pop back here. And maybe he's overextended a little bit. I hope. I think you're close to toast here. Why? I'm not so sure. He's extended himself a lot. Like, so far he's managed to keep everything protected, but I mean, how many pawn moves can you make without eventually a leak springing up somewhere? You know, all these pawn moves, a4, b4, e4, f4, d4, c4, literally moved all those pawns. I mean, do you think you can just get away with that forever? Finally, he made a tactical mistake. Bishop takes. And knight takes a4. We snuggle a pawn. Never expected that bishop takes c3 move, you know, which looks, oh my god, nobody's ever going to give up their extra bishop. Well, not unless I can be guaranteed that I get his, which is what I am here. Now it's like a question of whether white has enough compensation for the pawn he lost, which he might. We have an extra pawn. It's a valuable pawn, the outside pawn on a5. I mean, I think that at this point we can say that black is better. Winning is another story. I'd like to trade pieces if I may. Alright, let's get the queen to a sensible position. No reason for the queen to be on e8 anymore. We can also target this pawn on c4. Casting some spells in the chat. Those are Hungarian comments. No, he just realized that I understand Hungarian, so he started commenting in Hungarian. Not really commenting. He just said, you know, hey, good luck. I was talking about his name and saying that he plays just Blitz. So, just not really casting spells. Hungarian is a difficult language to master. There should be something called the Muritsa Gambit. Opening moves don't matter, but if you get a winning position, you start hearing the sound of an approaching drone. Interesting concept. So e5 when I didn't expect it. Time is money, right? Still kind of hard to get free here. Is e6 a threat? You gotta wonder about that. I feel like kind of freaking out here and just like losing my pawn back or something. Oh, I have knight takes e5. Wait. Tactics. Channeling tactics. 17 years. No, don't go that far. I've been in Hungary not that long. Just like 14. Only 14, Tushar. But I never took a language class in my life. I mean, my Hungarian is only from literally like learning, teaching myself, talking to people and stuff. Self-taught chess and Hungarian. We snapped a pawn. So we're up 2 pawns. Well, the white's pieces are placed pretty actively. Guys, I'm going to play one last game. Didn't I say I was going to play one last game against lichess? Only 14 years. But, I mean, I wasn't there learning Hungarian. I was playing chess and poker and doing other stuff. There's a really large, you know, there's a really large expatriate community in all Eastern European countries. You can basically live in a country like Budapest or Prague or anywhere without even learning the language. But in Budapest and Hungary, it's more difficult because, you know, most people, there really aren't like multiple languages. I mean, most people just speak Hungarian. So, but you could live without Hungarian. You can like just speak English. It's going to limit who you can interact with. Juicebox Wizard lived in America for 25 plus years and your English skills are subpar. You see? What an excellent point, man. I mean, thank you for being honest. Juicebox, very modest guy. I think my English skills are getting worse all the time. Alright, so now we got to keep an eye on the time. I'd really like to trade queens. Make sure everything stays protected and try to trade pieces. Right, as long as I can't trade queens there. God, I like blundered. Wow, I blundered, but I have this move. Miracle, an accidental miracle that I didn't drop a piece there. So he's got to, yeah, he's got to lose back the exchange. That wasn't his best move. Not his best move there. Alright, it was a tough game, but too much. Alright, thank you for the game. Last game against lichess for today. I don't like playing the black side of the Marazzi, and I particularly don't like it when they avoid exchanges with knight c2. So good luck, lichess. Our second Magyar opponent. The last two. Alright, what's up? He's funny, he calls me Paschall. Because in Hungary, you know, I mean, in Hungary, the last name is first and the first name is last. So sometimes it's like people will just call you Paschall because that's what they think. Like, you know, they're used to using the second name. lichess is someone who I met through my dealings with the first Saturday tournaments. Okay, bishop e4 check, and what are we gonna do? I usually play a5. There's a lot of different ways to play the bogo. I don't know why I chose to play the bogo. Actually, I played a lot of c5 lately, and I don't know why I passed up on the chance to do it here. Paschall. It's hard to pronounce my name, and I don't care. It doesn't insult me if you mispronounce it. So, bishop back to e7. This is an aggressive approach where I'm not allowing exchanges to try to play for a win, I guess. The safer move is bishop takes d2 there. And now you have a decision. d5 would transpose to a kind of Catalan if white plays g3. But I guess I've had games like this before here. My approach was more or less something along the lines of like d6 and playing for e5. I had a very, very unpleasant game against Erdos Victor. But in that game, I'm thinking it was actually a bogo. This is a bogo, a knight d2 bogo. Something slightly different. I definitely had similar games to this. Someone played bishop d3 against me. This is passive for black though. Against Victor I really lost badly in a structure like this. Almost hung in there. Now I'm confused because this position is so similar to a different position with a knight on d2 that I'm actually really not sure what's going on here. Can I sacrifice this pawn or not? Is it difficult to get a visa in Hungary? No. I mean, no, there's a lot of tourism. I mean, I'm a legal resident now since like 2015 or something. But no, I mean, Hungary depends a lot on tourism. d5. I guess Americans don't need a visa, right? We still have a good enough relation with Hungary. d5. You can stay for like 3 months without a visa. I guess it's 3 months. Am I crazy with the 3 months? I don't know. I thought it was like 3 months. You can visit without a visa. Yeah, there's a connection between Poland and Hungary traditionally too, Carol. A kind of historical. I'm not a Hungarian myself, so I don't know the history of it so well, but there is a connection. They even have a chess tournament in Poland that's like a kind of collaborative chess tournament between Hungary and Poland to celebrate the friendship or whatever between those two countries. Okay, d5, we need a plan here. a4 is not going to happen. He's got b4 gaining space. I guess I could play bishop g4. We could also play knight e8, something like that. Having a little trouble deciding how to develop here with black. This is not so easy. Knight h5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, bishop takes, queen takes h5, dropping a pawn. So knight h5 is out. Maybe bishop g4. I'm not in love with this, but I think it might be my best option. When you don't have space, you just oftentimes want to trade pieces to try to... you want to trade pieces to try to like limit your cramp in the position. This is my good bishop though, so it's hard for me to play this with the intention of trading it off. I don't really want to do that. But I'm not sure what else to do. Like if I were to play knight a6, he has b4. This is extremely strong for white. If I play knight bd7, again he has possibilities of b4, which is extremely strong for white. Other options like knight e8 or something like that, like I played against Erdos, playing for f5. I mean, it's definitely a plan, but I don't know. I'm retreating on my pieces to the back rank. It feels very passive. Can I play bishop h5 here and induce him to play g4? How risky is that, well, yes, it's risky, and I think it's dangerous, but I've got to do something. I don't like my position. But you got to take chances to win many times. Yeah, right, Hungary and Poland have a sort of friendship. You're talking about like India and Pakistan constantly fighting and your neighbors. That's awkward. So, anyway, guys, the next stream will be Sunday simul stream. It'll be, let's see, 4:30 p.m. on Sunday. For my subscribers and some close friends of the stream, I'm not sure how many players, probably at least 20 players will play on Sunday. 4:30 EDT. The Max Uva middle game book still relevant today. Absolutely, Stinger. I strongly recommend it. The knight a6, yeah, but I mean I can't get there because he plays b4. So I'm in a very, very passive position now. It's hard to break with f5. I don't have a4. I don't envy my position. He could actually try to kill me here with g4, bishop g6, h4. And I think he should pull the trigger on that. He did not do it. Yeah. This is a very wimpy way of playing for black. But my other option looked risky, like basically playing, actually, no, it wasn't even possible. I was thinking of f5. I don't know what else to do. I'm just trying to relieve the cramp in my position. Black is worse, but not lost. We're just like slightly worse spatially. This isn't so bad actually now. After bishop g5. Solfigu's like, India's in war. It's one of those informal things. They're always at war with Pakistan. Not officially, right? Okay, a4. I don't know, ask Tushar. We fixed the queen side. Our position is looking more promising. We traded 2 sets of pieces. And, you know, everything's more or less working out okay. If I were playing a computer, I would think, okay, I can just draw, you know. But against a human being, I think this position is not that easy for white to play. Now I fixed the queen side. He probably should have played b3 at some point to stop this move a4. Now I have the great square. Is there any other option? Knight a6, knight c5. Maybe we'll keep this knight on d7. I don't know, you know, which is better, to go here. He's transferring over, which is not a bad plan. When am I moving to Hungary? I'm moving to Hungary in 2 weeks. I'll be back in exactly 2 weeks from Hungary, streaming on like the 31st of August, I would assume. So Bob came up with something. Oh, India and Pakistan history. Okay. So now Nikola Chess has the problem with the isolated pawn on a3. He still hasn't castled. b4 was a kind of panicky move. Even so, maybe white's position is still holdable. He's drifted from better to slightly worse to significantly worse. Now we can just pile up along the A file with a big advantage. So guys, thanks for watching and subscribing and just hanging out with me and making interesting conversation from the Panda and I. Hey, what's up guys? Don't forget Simul on Sunday. Okay? So don't forget to play h4. I'm working on the Panda emote too. I'm supposed to have that uploaded already, but I've been really slacking. So I'm not even going to bother with f5 anymore. We're just going to pile up on the A file. Now there's a secondary target here. Structural chess. And I guess we should take this pawn. Get them while they're hot. And as a US citizen, you can play Stonewall. Stonewall Jackson. Yeah. Well, what do we got? The A file. Civil War history. I'm a northerner. I don't know if I'm allowed to play the Stonewall. Queen A8. Yeah, this move I was concerned about before. It's a good idea. He actually... can you sack the exchange on c5? He wants to trade his bad bishop for my knight. Now f3. Yeah, he sacked the exchange. Did you do that because I suggested it, or did you do that just because you thought of it yourself? A desperate exchange sacrifice. Technical position now, but a winning one. With his time disadvantage, this is pretty grim. The brothers Grimm. Down the exchange for basically very little. A kind of strong pawn on d5, but this is lost for black, or for white, excuse me. And you should never trade queens, of course. That's like suicide. Suicide Squad. I guess rook c4 was better there. Yeah, I'm a Yankee. I'm not allowed to play the Stonewall. Yeah, imagine if I played a Stonewall at a rally for the far right or something. All right, guys. I will be back here with Sunday Simul for the subscribers and friends to the stream. And that'll be 4:30 EDT. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing to the stream. We had some new subscribers. Merle Dixon donated to support the stream. Please do your best to support the stream. If you can donate via PayPal, much appreciated. Just a bits donation, I appreciate, guys. And just subscribing, I appreciate. If not, just hang out with us and improve our numbers. We had like over 90 viewers today, which was awesome. Thanks, Astrobate. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And I will see you on Sunday. Thanks, Soltigo, as well, for being an awesome moderator in the stream. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you on Sunday. Laters. Bye. Bye-bye. And don't forget, Sunday Simul, 4:30 EDT. Bye-bye.